Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I've got the touch. Bang, 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 bang. I've got the power. Yes, thank you to a very lucky and fortunate eBay find I do have from the Transformers Studio Series 86 movie. This is Autobot Hot Rod. Now, even though this is being given its own little tag and the figures have their own numbering, the 86 movie figures that are going to be part of the Studio Series line are not a separate subline and will be mixed in with other Studio Series figures as they're released. As I mentioned, I got the figure off of eBay. There is a seller who does have them in stock domestically, has Hot Rod and Scourge. At the time, I was only able to get Hot Rod, but its packaging and everything, it's a complete and total legitimate release. So we're starting off with Hot Rod in vehicle mode. This is a very nice interpretation of Hot Rod's vehicle mode, which was a variation of the Mode Zero concept car from like 1979. A few things to note is depending on your car, these front ends may have a little bit of an issue folding down. On mine, okay, oh yes, you can actually kind of see it. On this arms joint right here, there's a little extra lip of yellow plastic, and that was pushing out the mushroom cap. I had to push it in a little more, and that actually helped with the arm joints coming down. Other than that, the pipes here should all peg in solidly and tightly, and there should be no gap. And the reason there should be no gap is, as you can see, Hot Rod's face is facing straight up. The instructions tell you in air to rotate the head around. Doing so puts a little bit too much leverage on the canopy here, and then it doesn't peg into the arms properly, causing gapping issues. Now, let's get the big issue out of the way. The little the ghost in the room, I think the term is. I'm completely screwing that up. This is a deluxe-sized vehicle. This is being sold at the Voyager price point. The joints and transformation bits, while very, very good, are not that much more improved from your standard deluxe price point. What is improved is the number of accessories it comes with. Starting off, we have these little flame blast effects, which are designed to peg into the exhaust here on the back. Now, you'll notice that on these, there's a bigger hole right there, and there's a smaller one. Those go in the middle and top exhaust ports. These can also be used in robot mode, as we'll see. And you can have vroom, Hot Rod zooming all over. You also can, in vehicle mode, store its extra weapons. Both of Hot Rod's guns are included. Unfortunately, there is no Target Master. These are close replicas of his vintage weapons that we've seen a few times already with various releases of Hot Rod. They can peg in on the side here into these slots in the hood of the car. I am not doing that because I'm afraid of scratching the silver paint. And then once those are in, the other tabs can be pegged into the slots here on the saw weapon, which I'm a little disappointed does not spin as freely as on the Masterpiece. There is another accessory, which we'll get to in robot mode, which I think we should get into right about now. Okay, well, I brought the camera back a little, just gives a little room, because even though this is a small car, Hot Rod does end up being a above average size deluxe class robot. Start the transformation, come in here and get your thumb underneath the silver engine block and fold that down. unpeg these little side pieces, and they should peg in quite securely, and fold them into that chest piece. Now come along the sides, and you're going to unpeg the exhaust pipes from the back, and then untab the arm from under the canopy. Once that's done, flip up this red and out that red hinge piece, and flip around the front exhaust pipe, and then rotate the whole arm section around. Now, while rotating that arm section, I do recommend trying to grab onto that gray hinge and that whole chest piece, because believe it or not, the arm joints are very tight on this figure, something I am very happy to see. So we're going to repeat the process here on this side, rotate it around just like so, and we're basically done at this for this point. The next step you want to do is come in, and you're going to pull out to the side and down the back sections right here, where the fin pegs into. These are the legs I'm pulling out, and that will just allow you to bring up the fin section, rotate it around, and you're just going to leave it off right there for the time being. Next, what you want to do is give yourself a little bit of room, and you're going to open up these leg panels. They just peg right in. You're going to rotate them out a quarter of the way, fold the leg down. Now, when going into vehicle mode, you're only folding the knee on that first joint. Fold the foot out, unsnap the wheel and back exhaust section there, fold it all the way into that back leg panel, and then fold it up, and it should be complete. Now on mine, unfortunately, this does not peg in all the way. Oh, it just did. Never mind. Well, sometimes it likes to pop out. So we're going to do it again on this side. Again, extend the legs out, give yourself plenty of room. Fold the foot out, fold the wheel and exhaust in, and then peg it in just like that. And at this point, go ahead and rotate the waist around, and you have the lower torso, torso well section of Hot Rod done. Now what you want to do is bring this back a little, come in here, unpeg this whole section from the chest. There's two yellow tabs that will peg into these top collar pieces right there. Going to bring that down and around. Come up here. You can basically fold that hood section up, bring it up till it's about 90 degrees, and then rotate it around just like so. And yes, if you're paying attention, this actually does have that arm rotation transformation that Hot Rod had in the movie. A very nice touch. Fold that whole section up, and then, before you fold that whole section up, come in here and fold out Hot Rod's head, and then fold that section up. And now you will peg that torso section into some tabs that are in the chest proper, and that will secure everything into place. And then what you do is just fold up the thin section on the back, press it in securely. It should actually go in and really click into place, and that does hold. And to finish the arm transformation, what you want to do is just fold that red section up and around. It will loosely peg into a divot underneath the forearm. There, just like that. And ladies and gentlemen, you have Studio Series Hot Rod, well, Transformers the movie Hot Rod in its robot mode. And I have to say, this is probably the best Hot Rod figure I have ever handled. If you, like me, have pretty much all the Hot Rod figures ever released, we now have every style of transformation Hot Rod ever had. Because, little trivia fact, every time Hot Rod transformed, it was animated in a different way. So now if you have all the figures, Classics, Power of the Prime, Titans Return, Masterpiece, you got all those versions covered. So let's start off with some of the gimmicks. You have, of course, the aforementioned blast effects, which can now peg into the slots on the arm. And this can replicate the scene where he's basically taking out the Decepticons coming in on the Autobot shuttle. Straighten the arms out, rotate the fist. Oh, but before you do that, come in here with his head. Great ball joint on the head, by the way. Flip out that cool blue visor. And yep, pa-pow, ta-ta-tow. What the heck was that? You basically got Hot Rod taking out Decepticons in midair. Now you should be noticing that, yes, as I said, the joints are very tight. And while I'm here, let me just point out that in the shoulder you do have a little bit of a butterfly joint, as well as almost like a double, like a faux ratchet here in the arm. It's like here, and then once you start moving it, you have here, and there's that like second stop, and then it clicks back down. But so yeah, so that's kind of cool. You do have that. Rotate the hands back. Get those out of the way. Hot Rod can, of course, hold its weapons. The hands do open, as you just saw. You can just go ahead and slide them in. There is like a 5mm post molded in. So, not post, but hole molded in. So it is a very nice connection there. But yeah, there you go. He's going to town. There's unfortunately no lateral movement in the armpit joint to get some like spread going. I know for a lot of people that might be an issue, but you know, there it is there, holding the weapons. And again, if you do want to store them on the back here, right in that tail section, there are slots. But again, I won't be doing that because I am concerned about scraping the paint. And yes, you can, if you so desire, plug the blast effects into the weapons there. Now, we're not done with the gimmicks. I mean, this guy is loaded. Again, that Voyager price point, I think, is kicking in here. Let me just go ahead and return the visor back up. And that is, oh, and one thing I do want to point out when I first saw some images, this is a very, I don't want to say stern face of Hot Rod, although it comes off that way on the camera. It's not stern, but it's not jovial. It's like a relaxed neutral with a little bit of confidence. So just wanted to point that out. Let's come take a look at the forearms. Let's go ahead and open up that panel. And now let's begin by pulling down on that section, and you'll open up the forearm here. And if you rotate the hand around, and it does peg right back into that the rotation joint, get a little stump there. And on this side, you get his welding tool. Now on the Masterpiece version, these were separate pieces that you would have to plug on to little accessory stumps in the figure. Even on Masterpiece 09, which was a significantly larger figure. But here, the welding tool is built in. Unfortunately, the saw blade is not, but that can just be pegged on, and there you go. You can cut back some tentacles and Quintesson seaweed and then go ahead and fix Cup and weld them back together, because as we know now, one of the gimmicks on Cup is going to be he can take them apart and put them back together. So let's go back and get back to the hands, because we're going to nearing the end of our journey and review of Hot Rod. There's probably one last gimmick or accessory we really need to take a look at. Even though that they tried not to spoil it with a promotional poster, by now everyone knows that Hot Rod really becomes Rodimus Prime. And he does so by having the Matrix of Leadership. And here it is right here. That's the back side. This is the front side. Clear jewel. If you shine some light through it, it does little transparent. And what's nice is there is a matrix effect that you can peg in just like that. And because of its open hands, Hot Rod can hold the matrix as if he's lifting it to light our darkest hour. So now, unfortunately, there is no storage. This whole torso section, by the way, look at that clean backpack. None of the Masterpiece versions had that. But that whole torso section is solid and filled in. There really is no matrix storage, which kind of makes sense. This is basically Hot Rod before he got the matrix and right at the point he got the matrix. He hasn't really transformed into Rodimus Prime yet. Or does he evolve? That's a good question. But there's also a backdrop, so we're going to take a look at all of that in just a minute as I give you my final thoughts. And there we are. Hot Rod holding the Matrix, calling upon the powers of the ancient Autobot leaders to light our darkest hour and help defeat Unicron. The backdrop is actually from the inside of Unicron, when he's wrestling with Galvatron and gets his hands on the Matrix. Who knows? Maybe the leader Galvatron we're going to be getting will have some sort of like way to wear the Matrix so you can really recreate that scene. But this is a fantastic figure. This is the best Hot Rod figure I have ever handled. I am gobsmacked, bewildered, befuddled, bedazzled, beblinged, and other B words that how good this figure is. This completely obliterates any and all Masterpiece Hot Rods that have come before it. They're great to have, but they're not as great as this. So yes, since Earthrise, the line has been thrown around. Yes, this is a Masterpiece killer. I highly recommend picking this figure up if you are a fan of Hot Rod, if you are a fan of the 86 movie, because, you know, this is it. There will be other Hot Rod figures. They will be different. They will be, you know, interpretations of Hot Rod that are homages to this look, but it will not be this look. It will not be done as well. The only other thing I can think of is maybe in 2022 or something, as a convention box set, we get a bunch of these figures released with their Target Master partners as their Target Masters. But even then, I don't think, you know, Hot Rod will have all the accessories it does now. I'll say it again. I got this figure off of eBay. Paid a little extra, probably because the guy had to pay, you know, shipping and stuff. But this is a legitimate release, not stolen. So if you can afford it, go ahead, treat yourself now. 'Tis the season. But if you have to wait, I think these figures are supposed to hit in April. But then again, they might start hitting a little bit early, depending on how shipping is and all that. But again, minor quibbles aside with how some of the parts fold in, I know people are complaining about the size of the spoiler, the use of yellow plastic in certain areas. tolerances, slight tolerance issues. I got to look past all of that. This is the hot rod figure that we've been waiting since 1986 to have. I never had a G1 hot rod, never had a G1 Rodimus Prime until I got the commemorative edition Rodimus Prime. Never got the reissue hot rod, any of the releases. So my only real experience with toys of this character have been from classics and all the subsequent updates and homages. But this is it. This is the embodiment of what you saw on the screen. So if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Why I appreciate the views, the liking, commenting, and subscribing sends magic messages to YouTube's algorithms that this channel is a channel that should be supported. If you really want to make the ultimate sign of support, I do have a Patreon, www.patreon.com/chuckdog1999. There's a little card here in the corner. All I ask is $1 a month. No thrills, no tears, no special features. All you're doing is helping me help you to help me bring reviews like this to you. If you can't, no problem. I appreciate the views. I appreciate taking the time to watch my videos. And I really do appreciate taking the time to have watched this video. I'll be continuing my daily Advent vlogs, as well as giving you toy reviews such as this. I have some other goodies coming in this week, and I have some stuff already queued up. So thank you so much. Have a great day. For Hot Rod, this is your old pal Chuck, and I will see you next time.